One of your greatest assets in life. That you have all the time, and you get to choose what to do with it, is time. Now, someone said to me the other day, what should I do? I've got lots of time to kill. Don't kill time, man. Time's very, very important. Why are you killing time? Yeah, I'm just wasting time. Ooh. Why are you wasting time? Just going to fill in some time. Why are you filling in some time? Time is very, 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 very important thing. Rav Noach Weinberg, who set up Aish, he used to give an analogy. Someone's sitting on a bus, you're sitting on the bus, and the guy sitting opposite you, he takes $5 and he just throws it out the window. That's a bit weird. And then he takes another $5, just throws it out the window. And every few minutes he just takes $5. You know, what are you doing? And he says, that's what people do with their time. Like, yeah, I've got nothing to do, bored, I'll just hit the Fortnite, Candy Crush. Time is very, 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 very important. And this is also a thing that I don't fully understand, is boredom. When was the last time you were bored? If you're bored, you're boring. How can you be bored? There's so much to do. Learn every language, feed every orphan, learn every instrument, practice every sport. Like, how can you be bored? If you're bored, you're mamish just boring. What a boring person. You go, oh, I got nothing to do. When do you ever have nothing to do? There's always someone you can help, no? Or think of how to help someone. Yeah, that's boring. It's amazing. So when you get to 90, you're going to look back on your life. How many of you are going to look back on your life and think, that was amazing, and mamish nailed that? Now looking around this room, I'd say most of you, actually. Why? Because you're sitting in this room. The fact that you're sitting in this room shows that you want to do something with your time. You want to use your life. You want to have a good life. You want to have a meaningful life. Do you have a meaningful life? So we spoke about this a lot. What makes your life meaningful? What does it mean to have a meaningful life? Yes, please?
To be a positive influence on the world.
I like that. Positive influence on the world. Meaning is intrinsically and intimately connected with purpose. You have to have a purpose. If you don't have a purpose, then there's no meaning really. So our purpose is to have a positive impact on the world and on ourselves, and come close to God and bring God consciousness into the world. So if your purpose is self-actualization, becoming the greatest person you can become, and God consciousness, having the most God consciousness you can have, as well as universal actualization, helping other people, and universal God consciousness, that's your purpose, you can never be bored, because there's always something to do to get there. So people often say to me, you seem to have a lot of vitality. Why is that? One answer I sometimes give is, I'm not wasting my time with useless thoughts, which takes away a lot of energy. But the other answer is, I know exactly what I'm living for. Exactly what I'm living for. I know exactly what I need to do in order to achieve that. And therefore I'm very, very invested in doing that, even if it's hard. In fact, it has to be hard, otherwise it's not worth achieving, in general. So every day I wake up, I know why I've woken up today, I know what I'm doing in my life, and I can see everything I do during my day, is that living in line with my goal? Is everything that I'm thinking, saying and doing taking me towards my goal? And those things are called meaningful. They're meaningful if they're taking you towards your meaningful goal. If they're taking you towards your meaningless goal, then they're also meaningless. Meaningless goal and ways to get there, that's meaningless. This is amazing. So I'm not wasting time. Entertainment. How much How much Netflix? How much do you watch stuff? So the truth is, the more meaningful your life, the less entertainment you're getting from those external things, because your meaningful life is entertaining. You are entertained by your meaningful life. I don't need some external soap opera, comedy, funny thing. Once again, I don't think they're bad. You can watch them once in a while. But what am I going to take out of my schedule to do that? I always use The Spy as an example. Sacha Baron Cohen. Great show, I'm sure. But what am I going to take out of my schedule to watch that? Time with my kids, time with my wife, exercise, meditation, prayer, learning, empowering other people, writing books, making videos. Which one of those things should I take out in order to make time to watch The Spy? I don't think The Spy is worth. And what do you think I enjoy more, The Spy or spending time with my kids? And definitely The Spy. And I can't stand my kids now.
But long plane ride to America, you can't sleep.
If I have a long plane ride to America and I can't sleep, and there's movies on the plane, so I've got the Peleiotes. The Peleiotes. It's a book of Musa. If I can't sleep, I'm not going to hit a movie. I'm going to hit the Rambam. That's what I'm going to hit. Huh? I hit the Rambam. So even in that case, so maybe if I'm very, 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 very tired and I just can't hit the Rambam, well then I'd probably sleep or think about God and then fall asleep. You ever been sitting up late at night trying to learn Torah and you keep falling asleep? And you're like, okay, there's no point. I'm going to go to bed now, it would be better. Before I go to bed, I'm going to check one email. 2 hours later, you're still in front of the computer checking emails and doing stuff. Oh, suddenly you're all awake. Oh, full of vitality now. Once again, I think we need to be balanced human beings, and you should go and have a beer and watch some sport sometimes. That's okay, you can do that. And you can watch a movie sometimes, whatever. But in general, and I don't think people look at me and say, oh wow, I feel really bad for Dov Bey, he's really losing out. He's not playing Fortnite and Candy Crush. I don't think anyone's maybe someone is. Because like, I think I told you when the Gesher guys first came here, 18 years old, lovely guys by the way. And one of them said, we was like joking around and we spoke, and then he started walking up the stairs and he said, see ya, wouldn't want to be ya. And I looked and I was like, no, you would actually. You'd really want to be me. I've got a really good life. I've got an amazing family, amazing job. I don't call this a job. It's called a passion. An amazing passion that I get to fulfill and get paid for. Not a lot. But I'd rather do what I love doing for less money than go and sit in some office for a lot more money. For what? So I could buy a nicer suit? That's a ridiculous waste of time. The less material needs you have, the more free you are to do what you're passionate about doing, and a much better life you're going to have. Because that huge flat screen TV and Armani suit isn't going to make you happy. Great. Number 11. Cheshbon Adam imnasho al ma sha'ava meyamav. You should start thinking, how are you using your time? How have you used your time up until now? Are you just throwing it away? What a waste of time. And when you're 90 years old, you're going to be like, oh no, why? Oh, when you die, you're going to go to heaven and God's going to say, you're going to get all your statistics. 50,000 hours of watching little clips of kittens falling off the bed. And the best street fight knockout. Those are good. But you're going to be... And Hashem said, I gave you all these hours and you did the street fight knockout, 5.6 million views, Mr. Beast stuff. It's like, why? So you're going to go up to heaven and Hashem's going to give you this is how many hours of meaningless stuff you did, and this is how many hours of meaningful stuff you did. Which one's going to outweigh that? So Baruch Hashem for you guys, I think you do pretty well in this. You probably haven't done that well so far, nor had I necessarily until I was 22, and I decided I'm going to Asia for 6 years to do martial arts and meditation, because that's much better than whatever all my friends were doing. So I started saying, no, I'm actually going to make the most powerful use of my time possible. Jews were slaves in Egypt 210 years, and then they were freed. The main difference between a slave and a free person? Time. A slave doesn't get to choose what they do with their time. They don't get to choose when they wake up, go to bed, what they do while they're awake. A slave doesn't really choose what they do to with their time. Most people nowadays are a slave. Their time isn't their own. It's spent doing a job they don't particularly like necessarily. They got to pick their kids up from this and do that, and they're not really. And some people, I'm taking a bit of control now, and I'm going to the gym, and I'm going to make certain time. But in general, people aren't consciously using their time to the max. They're filling in time. I'm filling in time so I don't be bored. Well, we don't fill in time. We consciously use our time to get to where we need to get to. And sometimes we choose to chill out consciously in order to keep going. Yeah?
How about money?
Money? Slave to money as well? Is that the question?
So
you're slave to your ego, you're slave to your money, you're slave to your society, you're slave to what people think of you, you're a slave to the weather, you're a slave to the sports results, you're a slave to everything.
Well, you can use it properly.
100%. So as well, you can flip that as well. You can use your money in a meaningful way. You can eat in a meaningful way. Everything. Music, going to the gym, art, everything can be either a complete distraction and a waste of time, or it could be an investment of time, making you a more healthy, well-rounded human being. Nice. Brilliant. Umashal b'zeh. And here is a mashal, an analogy. Ki'ilu hamelech natan lo mamon lohatzio befanim ma'avnei hatziyato. So the king has given you lots of money, and he says you've got to use this money for certain things. I want you to use this money, even on yourself. Here's money for your education, for your clothes, for your children, whatever. Not necessarily spending it for the king, for yourself. I'm giving you loads of money. V'hizhiru shelo yotzi mimenu me'uma muzulatam. And the king says to you, I'm giving you all this money, but you've got to use it for what I gave it to you for. Like if I give my kids some money, and I say, this is to be used on whatever, you can buy this snack. I want them to buy the snack. I don't want them to buy weed. They can't buy weed for the amount of money I'm giving them. And then the king says to you, and at the end of the year, I'm giving you this money for a year, at the end of the year, we're going to do a Cheshbon. And you're going to bring me all the receipts. We're going to go through everything you used the money for. And we'll see, did you use it well? If you used it well, I might give you another year of another year of money. If you used it badly, there'll be some consequences here. And he's not going to just let you get away with it. The king isn't going to be like, okay, so you messed up, and there are consequences to a misuse of your money. It's called stealing, by the way. Someone says you've got to use this money for this and use it for something else, you just stole from them. That's not okay. אין מן הזריזוז לו שיחשוב עם נפשו בסוף כל חודש וחודש מחדשו השנה לדעת מה להלך מן הממון ובמה הוציאו. Wouldn't it make sense? He says at the end of every month, you should take a little bit of an accounting. Have I been spending the money on the right thing? What have I used it for? How could I use it better? Like this is what a business person does. They take an accounting. Every once in a while I'm taking accounting to make sure that my business is running properly. So you need to take an accounting in your life as well. Every once in a while, am I spending the money that I was given in the correct way? So you got to stay on top of it. Have self-accounting. And therefore, if you keep measuring yourself and you realize, hold on, I didn't spend that so well, or I messed it up, you're going to make sure that in the future I'm going to invest doubly in doing the right thing. It's a very healthy thing, by the way. And once again, no pressure, no guilt, no fear, but a drive to become the greatest person you can become. We're not doing these things because we're afraid of punishment. We're doing them because we're excited about becoming great people. So obviously, in the analogy, the money that the king gave is God gave you time. God gave you time, and he says, here, you got a certain amount of time. By the way, you don't know how long that is. You weren't told. Could be 25 years, could be 95 years. You just don't know. But you got a certain amount of time, and then the time is going to come to an end. And then the king, Hashem, is going to say, okay, let's see. How did you use it? I gave you this amazing gift, one of the unbelievable gifts. Once the Jews left Egypt, they're now not slaves in Egypt, and they go into the desert, they get given this amazing food out of the heavens, and they didn't know what it was, and they said, Mazeh, what is this? And the answer was, Zeman, this is man, this is manna. But Zeman, the deeper teaching says, Zeman is Zman, you were given time, you have time now. And what did the man taste like? Anything you liked. It's saying that your time tastes like whatever you wanted to. You can fill it with meaningless stuff, or you can fill it with good stuff. You could fill it with useful stuff. By the way, filling it with meaningful stuff gives you immense self-respect and joy and vitality. It's much better. Your life's much better. When you know what you're doing and why you're doing it, and it's healthy and it's physically healthy, and you're going to the gym and you're eating properly and you're emotionally healthy, mentally healthy and spiritually connected, then you're living just a much better life. Lots of people I speak to who are a bit depressed or anxious or whatever, it's because their lives are generally just completely meaningless. They have no goal, don't know what I'm living for, don't know how to get there, doing a degree they don't need or like, and they're going to have a big college debt. They're doing a job they don't really like. 84% of people hate their job, according to LinkedIn. They did a survey. 84% of people hate their job, and probably another 10% don't like their job. It's amazing. And you're spending your life from 25 to 65, from 9 till 5, doing something you don't really like just because you're scrambling to pay the bill. That's not very well thought out. It's not a useful use of your time. I tell people like that, just stop, go away and travel for 3 months. Well, I'd really come to yeshiva for 3 months. And they say, no, I'd really love to, but I'll fall behind. You know, there's a treadmill of life, and I'll fall behind. And I always say to them, yeah, but when you're going in the wrong direction, you want to fall behind. If you're on the wrong bus, it's going to somewhere you don't want to go, you wanted to go north, it's going south, and I say, well, you're going in the right direction, get off. And they said to me, yeah, but if I get off, the bus will keep going without me. I'll be like, yeah, that's the point, you idiot. You're going to end up 52 and have a midlife crisis and be married to someone you don't really like, and your kids are going to... You just don't do that. Just take a few... And employers like people who took a few months off to travel, I think, in general. I used to run these trips to Thailand and India and Nicaragua and Peru, Sri Lanka. Amazing 10-day trips, meditation and social justice and playing with the elephants and very cool stuff. And my sign of success is how many people I got to quit their jobs. They were great. And I got quite a few people. This one girl was a top high-powered something in Wall Street financial district, and she hated it. And I said, what do you want to do? And she goes, I want to be a trail canoe guide down some river in Arizona or something. And she wrote to me about 6 hours later and said, I quit, I'm now guiding down this river, I've never been happier. I was like, very brilliant. So how are you using your time? Because it's not coming back. It's just gone. You've got 5 minutes now. Someone said to me, often happens, if they come late for a meeting with me, they say, I'm so sorry to keep you waiting. And I'm like, I wasn't waiting. I was learning the Rambam. I don't wait for the bus. I sit and learn Torah until the bus comes. Jews don't in general wait. We wait for Mashiach. But we don't wait for buses, and we don't wait for people, and we don't wait for opportunities. We do something meaningful until the thing happens. Or we do something to make that opportunity happen. That's a meaningful investment of our time, but I don't wait. Sorry to keep you waiting. You didn't. I actually enjoyed learning the Rambam more than speaking to you. Thank you very much. That's not true because I love people. I love speaking to people. Fine. So this is our 11th Cheshbon Hanefesh. How are you using your time? During your day? Am I using it in a good way, healthy way? And so really, it's something we should do even once a week. Cheshbon Hanefesh on Friday morning, a major way to get ready for Shabbat is to do tshuva, really. To go over your week. And remember, tshuva, repentance, doesn't mean beating yourself up, it's the opposite. It means lifting yourself up. Tshuva means saying, this is where I was good. So tshuva always starts with, this is what I did well this week. This is where I am good. This is where I respect myself, feel good about myself. And these are the areas I need to work on. And then he says, really, the second part of this is planning for the future. Okay, so make sure that I'm not doing that anymore. Make sure I'm cutting it out. After 10 o'clock at night, there's no reason to be on social media. There's a reason to be on WhatsApp to call your parents, something like that. But you don't need to be on. You don't need YouTube and TikTok and Instagram after 10 o'clock at night. Unless if there's something meaningful.
No, I was going to say you don't need them in general.
Okay, so I'm trying to be nice. You don't need them in general. Fine. But 10 o'clock at night, and then I'm getting up late in the morning, I'm not feeling full of vitality and be able to exercise and meditate in the morning. Why? Because you were watching the UFC's best head kick knockouts all night. Which is great, by the way. I'm using this example because it's my taiva. But I understand it because I was a martial artist, so it's not just two half-naked men killing each other. There's some skill I can see in it. But I stopped it in general. I'm just not watching it. Although there was a remastered Bruce Lee thing. I watched it at double speed. Bruce Lee, you don't need to watch at double speed. It's like... Anyway, there we go. Our 11th Cheshbon is, are you using your time in a meaningful way? Don't throw it away. Don't kill it. Don't fill it. Don't waste it. Use it. Choose it. Don't abuse it. Don't lose it. We could do a whole thing. Shabbos.